Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Are we ready for MSQ? In the cold?
Um, does it come in any other temperature?
Quarthus? No. Why do you ask?
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Come on. We are two buns on the go.
We are?
Yes, we are. Hello, Doodles.
Where are we going?
Quarthus.
No,
No?
you're going the wrong way.
No? Oh.
Where else would Alphino be?
Okay, sorry. And we talked with everyone last time, so...
Maybe? I'm not sure we've done it since the latest... No, everyone looks like they're in about the same place. Double check, Tataru.
Thank you, Rena. Thank you. I shall sleep soundly knowing that the worm will trouble us no longer.
You do that. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, the Lady Knight from Ishgard cuts quite a gallant figure, doesn't she? Yes, she does. So,
yeah, that's all familiar, so... Okay, Alphino.
What you got, kid?
The Ishgardians have warred with the Dravanians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. Final Fantasy and its 1,000-year things. In all that time, not once have their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet, regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgardsormr who roared, a call to arms by one of the first brood cannot be ignored. Until such time as they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance, and pray that our fears are unfounded. Okay, we turned in a quest, we're done for the night, right?
Not even.
Aww.
Aether on demand.
Aether on demand. Alphino has a message from Moonbreda for the Scions. Ere I forget, I believe Moonbreda has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there has been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. And off to the side.
Okay, Moonbreda, have you drunk us out of house and home yet?
Just Thancred.
All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head to the Solar, shall we?
Dragons? On the menu?
No, they're off the menu.
Try eating that. Double checking these pair. No, that's the same.
Okay.
Actually, Alphino. Of all our adversaries, the Ascians could well be considered the most dangerous. I do hope Moonbreda's research has borne fruit.
I hope so too.
Could be a really short plot if it doesn't.
Yeah. She was researching ways to kill Ascians, right?
Yes.
Actually, the correct thing was a way to produce the Sword of White without being gifted by Heidelin.
Yes, which was requiring a lot of very concentrated aether, and she was wanting to use white auracite, which she happened to have on her, to temporarily store the aether.
Right.
But it doesn't hang on for long, which was part of the trouble. The other part is where to get the aether in the first place. And I think she was looking at some of the corrupted crystal formations.
Minfilia? I've summoned everyone to the Solar. 'Twould seem Moonbreda has something exciting to share with us.
I like
Ooh.
exciting.
What's this exciting thing you got, Moonbreeder?
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking, I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white Eorzea has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute. Why didn't we think of this before? White Eorzea can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white Eorzea cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the great river of ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? Aye, I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one
she had
has
a good
any
feeling.
objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it's worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, What are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arceans will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangred and Papalymo shall accompany you. Ida and Y'shtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white orsite.
Thank you, Eorzea. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you're able. Go well, and be safe.
So, off to Northern Thanalan? Actually, check with Anfilia.
Anfilia.
Though I have little doubt you will prevail against the Empire's forces, I shall pray for your success nonetheless. Our future may depend upon Moonbreeder being free to pursue her experiments. And everyone's moved.
Yeah.
Tataru?
Hey, Gary?
Tataru first.
Okay.
For a small organization, we certainly chew through a prodigious amount of foodstuffs. Perhaps I should put a lock on the larder door. Uh-oh. Are we missing
That
some
might be
foodstuff?
wise.
We do seem to be running low on provisions. I believe an excursion to the marketplace is in order. Oh dear. Wahaman?
Ori, have you been having seconds?
I see the scions once more ready themselves for the road. I, too, must make preparations for an absence from the Rising Stones. I wonder where you're heading. Ori?
Seems you've barely arrived before you must once more plunge into the fray. Duty is an unforgiving mistress, eh? Though the tasks we tackle are not like to be as realm-shaking, Coltonay and I must also heed her call.
Hello, Foxfire! Glad you could
Yay!
join us.
Hari was most eager to join you on the front lines of battle, but as fate would have it, the antecedent had other plans for our talents.
I don't think that's
Anyone
a bad
in the
thing.
back?
I'm not seeing anyone. Either that
No
or
Doomans
the
hiding.
kids are hiding.
Yeah.
They're really good at hiding, just for the record.
Okay. Alpha no.
Just a second. I was checking the back.
Huh.
And none at the tables? Okay, Alfie.
Nope.
Where you want us to
seem that
march?
Twould seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I would wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The Fourth have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Elbird at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Your duties take you to northern Thanalan, do they not?
They do.
Stoic nod. We, too, must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Bahamon travels to Ul'dah, and we shall serve as her escort.
At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is my hope that they can convince the aid of the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a unified front, or we shall all fall. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Asila had... Let me try that again. Ah, how extraordinary that my little Asila is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might stand at her side, not only as a mother, but as a colleague.
A colleague with influential connections. But I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Ah, woe betide the blackguard that so much glares in your direction, milady.
That's our Hori.
Yep.
We shall be well protected, it seems.
Shall we be on our way then? Stoic nods all around.
And thus...
Down to Tataru and Higiri,
Hold on.
who are going on a shopping trip.
Okay, I was getting this weird thing when I'd look at the entrance to the Solar. I
Yeah,
could see
you too.
a tag nameplate behind that, but you couldn't click on it.
Yeah, I was noticing it too.
Okay, it's not just me.
Now, the interesting thing is I stopped being able to get it as I got closer to the door.
Yeah. Okay, I have stepped out.
Stepping.
So we're heading over to the cerulean processing plant.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Eorzea.
So, Moonbreeda's plan
Uh-huh.
is only going to work because Dalamud fell.
Yes.
Because we wouldn't have all these spare corrupted crystals lying around to draw from wherever you happen to go, unless that had happened.
I'm sure there were others before, but a lot of them had been worn down over time.
Yeah, well, there weren't nearly so many, and they weren't all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, from what we've seen and everything, that happened because of the Meteor Project, which was the Garlands, influenced by the Asians.
Mm-hmm.
So any Asians that die, well, they did it to themselves.
Maybe. Oh, hey, Willard. Good to see you again, kid. How you holding up there?
He looks very blue. Commander Leveler sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster at the Amalja. Returning to the task at hand, the Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Hareband's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Garlands could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein, that we might coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I'll inform the others that you've arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings.
Yeah, well, Willard's not the best singer in the world, so, Ithil has, no fear of that one.
Okay. Lieutenant Freth, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Would that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times. But I fear more pressing matters require our attention. The civilian draftsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design, no less. By my order, the Flames stationed here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we were unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial Army. I would once again ask you for aid.
I don't know. I think the bombs are kind of important. Do you think the
Probably.
bombs are important?
On the counteroffensive. Lieutenant Edelstein wishes to share a report with you concerning the Garlands' movements. We've been keeping a close eye on that Garland garrison, and 'twould seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squad seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They'll likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take the field to meet this assault head-on. I've appraised your fellow scions of the situation, and am heartened to know they will be joining the effort. Pray report to Lieutenant Alian and lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive.
Okie dokie.
You just keep getting handed off.
Ah, there's Eliane. And look at the crowd here.
I.
Yida? Have you seen Moan swing her axe? Swipe, slice, cleave! There's really no stopping her. Stola? Now that is an impressive piece of steel. Isn't it a beauty? A lady merchant in Revenant's Toll simply gave it to me. Said she was investing in the future or some such. Oh god, you got
Rowena,
it from
what are you up to?
Rowena. Papalymo?
Oh. Considering the weapon she wields, I don't believe the lady is in need of additional protection.
Tancred?
Be it a squad of soldiers or some Magitech monstrosity, I shall allow no foe to harm the lovely Mongrita.
Yeah, I think she can take care of herself.
And she'll take care of you if she has to.
Oh yeah, that's part of taking care of herself.
Right then. Time to see if all this training has paid off. Ralger, guide my blade.
Glad to have you with us, Ladonia, Rena. I'm sure the Lieutenant Edelstein has explained. The Garlings have deployed a small force from the Cerulean from Castrum Meridianum.
Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. I wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men.
Captain Hilbert.
Greetings, scions. I understand the commander bids you and your fellows come lend a hand to the braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the Fourth should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The Third was getting restless holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses, and add their numbers to your counterattack.
The reinforcements are welcome. We've enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls.
Aye, 'twould seem 'twould be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course, indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scions shall join the Fourth and give battle to this main column. You're with the Third, then, Warriors of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuyuhasi. His scouts should have a rough idea where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. I think we've been given our marching orders.
We have! Can I start punching things now?
Nope.
No! Why not?
Not until we actually get to the Garleans.
Oh.
If you started now, you'd just end up punching Yuyuhasi. You don't want to do that, do you?
Probably not. I might break him.
Pleasure to be fighting at your sides once more, Scions. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads. The better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground, and make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scions.
Right then, it's punchin' time! I get to punch things. Yay.
Happiness is a punchy monk.
Punchy, punchy. Oh yeah, let's punch things. Do we get to punch more things? Yay.
Probably. You know, if they don't run away or something.
You know they will.
They will run away? He isn't.
Well, that's his problem. As I desperately try not to aggro the Earth Spirit.
Yeah. They're kind of tough. They might hurt your hands if you punch them.
Nah, I've got some punching guards. Ignoring you, Iquus and Hopala and Vanguard.
Really? How can you ignore him? You were wanting to punch things.
All in good punching time. Bye-bye. Have a nice fall.
One rubber band later.
Well, I punched things. Is that good enough for you, little one?
You seem grim, Scions. I'll take that to mean that between us, more than a few Garleans won't be making it back to the castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another one of those Magitech horrors. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the 4th and let Lieutenant Alian know the west is now clear. I would appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. So, think it's actually all clear?
Considering the castrum is still standing, no. Just a feeling, you know?
I don't think you're punching down the walls of the castrum.
Probably not, no. That might hurt my knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
Or worse, I could break a nail.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Reporting in.
Lieutenant Frith, what news of the Garleans?
All taken care of. I punched them good.
Your raiding parties are no more, then. Excellent. The Amalja engineers will be most relieved to hear the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Or Amagina. That would make sense. Thank you again for your assistance.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Muldra this far up north.
No. An uninvited Asian. Lieutenant Edelstein appears concerned for Moonbreda's well-being. You must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Alian has reported a sound victory over the main column, and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attention to other duties. All but one, that is. The Regadan lady with the large axe, who it appears she has chosen to remain at the site of the battle.
Doesn't surprise
I know not what task keeps her from returning to civilization, but northern Thanalan is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I would certainly feel better about things if you could check in on her before you continue on your way.
Okie dokie.
I think she found some crystals.
I think so too. Hopefully that's all she's found.
That would be good.
After all, we do have basilisks and goblins and oh look! Void Scent Aramon.
Yep.
Speaking of which,
Who does seem to be kind of bothering Moonbreda. But no more.
hey Moon, what you up to?
Hold on, I won't be a second.
Well, that to the Oraman.
The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe.
That's our move.
I know. As Eorzea never tires of reminding me. An axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it's...
Hey, I can sympathize with this.
Is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed?
Try and care for her definition of
With a
interesting.
few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
She senses me. A useful talent.
Hanassian, are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth, meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
That's Miss Meddler to
Your
you.
instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Not wise.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light. Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us?
Yeah, I think he's on to us.
Nobrialis, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet, unconscious. But this staff, you say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
Well, that's not good.
If I'm right, and the Ascian is after Tupsimati, then we'd better make all haste back to the Rising Stones. Minfilia must be warned. This looks like a job for Eorzea!
Yes. And you know, it is very obvious that Nabriel is a villain. He monologues.
Yes, he does monologue. They all monologue to a certain extent, but at least he actually provides useful information and not just sits there and bluster. Though, slight spoiler, Theron is really wondering how he's going to be Zodiark's right-hand man. Considering Zodiark's current right-hand man is, well, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, he was figuring the staff would put him above any competition for that. Must be quite a staff. Even
Well, it is
broken.
Tupsimati.
Kind of broken.
Yes, it's very broken.
Though if it's, that special... Did they ever say where it came from?
Excuse me, I do not know. That might have been a 1.0 thing?
It certainly would have existed then, because, of course...
You're here! Master Louis' staff is kept in the Solar, isn't it? Quickly now.
Something's missing.
You too.
Ah.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you.
He loves his monologues.
The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Hareband. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
That is quite a staff.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
That's interesting that they mentioned the horn.
Yeah, and you realize is now why the staff's a big deal?
Hmm?
It's an etheric siphon.
Yep. Which is what Moonbreeder was making. But do you remember the horn?
Not so much.
This is a slight spoiler, but it's something that happened initially in 1.0. Where you had this horn that people were after, and it ended up disappearing because it was taken by another Ascian.
Okay.
Well, you don't find out for another expansion and a half to where that horn actually went and what happened to it.
Part of Tupsimati.
No.
No?
The
Okay.
horn was a separate item.
Okay. I thought the horn was the top piece of the staff there.
No. The corn is currently laying idle in Old Charlian because it was used to summon Alexander. Yeah, we'll leave that there for another expansion and a half. Everyone take notes. There'll be a quiz on it in about a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to write that one down.
Yeah, it was like,
But
oh,
they are implying
God.
that tablet is quite possibly white aurosite.
Yes. Yes, they are. Moon! Moon, are you okay?
No, Moon is not okay.
Forget about me. Go!
Speaking of.
What class do you want to be in?
Oh, yeah, not this one. Do I dare do this as Black Mage?
You could try. I'm just worried about how long it'll take to get through Q. But we'll find out.
I'm not tanking it.
No, you are not.
I don't think I'm healing it. Because I barely remember the original version of the fight.
Said 6 minutes. We will see. Hey, look, Ophelia. I'm sitting in your chair. Woo!
Stop that.
What? Can't I sit?
At least wipe off all the Ascian traces first.
Of course, of course. What? Why would you think I would do elsewise? I guarantee you, I'm going to leave the seat nice and toasty. Unlike the Ascian, it'd be probably frozen stiff.
But he is the last person to occupy the chair.
Unfortunately. Well, I'm making it the chair happier and better because they can kind of forget about the Ascian there.
The Ascian ass.
Can't say Ascian without saying ass.
Pretty much.
Meanwhile, Heidelin is deep within the ethereal sea, rolling her eyes. Oh, that was horrible. No.
Yes!
Of course, this creepy music isn't helping.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Oy. Yeah, I had completely forgotten about the fact that they even mentioned that horn from 1.0. I was like, oh, wait, it, But yeah, it does come back again in a very unexpected fashion, and it's only very mildly touched on. So it's like, you blink and you'd miss the reference.
Right.
Slight spoiler, but it's not really kind of gone into until very late in the game. When Moonbrita says Urianger is a childhood friend,
yes,
she kind of meant it.
Yeah, they talk about that in the latest expansion.
Effectively, both of them grew up in Sharlayan, and Sharlayan has a policy of adopting children and raising them within the Scholar Society, and a household would effectively sponsor a child to live under it, and Mubrita's parents sponsored Urianger. Yeah. And I get the distinct impression that how they became friends was kind of the classic, how an introvert makes friends. Urianger sitting in the corner reading, Moonbrita comes up, "You're my friend! Introvert has made a friend!"
That's exactly what it was like.
Ow! That's horrible, Foxfire! That's absolutely horrible! You should be proud of yourself. Oh, wow! I'm in pain now. Ow.
Might have scared a few people off and added another minute to the queue.
Ascian art. Ow!
Yes!
Just for that. That's not what I wanted to do. Hey, come back here. Okay, there you go. There is a way to move this box around. There it is. So it's Let's change channels. And I'm gonna have to expand this a little. And user macros. There we go. One of my favorite ASCII arts ever in game. I don't play Dark Souls, but I know the reference. It's hilarious. And let's get my boxes back to normal. There. Unfortunately, someone did this great one of Ilbert yelling sloppy, and I've yet to find it again. I found similar ones that weren't nearly as good. So whoever did the first one, I miss yours. It was great. Why do I have a pair of rings?
I don't know. Why do you?
I don't know. We're now up to 6 minutes. This might be a while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, it's one of those fights that they can't write AI for. In the most recent expansion, as a test and trial, they actually wrote an AI version for dealing with the fight with Mummy Crystal. And they said it took so much time and energy to get the AIs to do that, they're not going to do it again. Apparently doing all the AIs for the dungeons was a lot easier. But let me tell you, it was a fight. TM. Uh-oh, we're up to 7 minutes. Ooh.
Someday I might do that fight a second time. I've only seen it the once.
Poor Action actually got that on leveling roulette.
That's a heck of a leveling roulette.
Sorry, on trial roulette, and he's like, I don't remember this fight. I don't have the gear.
Oh yes, that's right.
Because she does not pull punches.
No.
But that's several years away for our buttons. Bunny bun buns.
We should be lucky enough to live that long.
We should be lucky enough to have the Duty Finder actually find us,
That's part of living long enough.
Was it, 6 suckers enough to come into the Chrysalis with us?
Yeah, something like that.
Hello!
You popped! So
Wow,
I get
I'm
to see the
impressed.
all-new Chrysalis. Chrysalis.
It's not new.
I thought you said they changed it.
No. This one
You
they have
said.
not. This one they have not. I'm thinking of a different one. And check out the statue in the background.
And someone has been damseled.
Yes, she has. We need to fix this. Oh wow, total damsel! You are such a creeper. You're like turning
He
it
revels
to
in being a villain.
He's turning it up to 11 on purpose. I swear.
Yes. I hope that everyone else knows what they're doing, because, boy, I sure don't.
And there he goes! Trade colors!
Intercept the... That's right. Okay.
Yeep!
I don't remember that part.
I've been slowed! Oh no, Black Mage Dan! Oh my god, we've got
we have
three
Black Mages! Oh wow! Would you stop doing that while I'm in the middle of casting?
It's like, no.
Maybe a villain, but I'm no fool. Stop that. Here we go again.
And save that limit break.
Ah. Is this one of the ones that needs a tank limit break?
No. It is a DPS limit break, but it has to be at a specific point. hard to tell positionals because this hitbox is so tiny! Okay, into the portal! Ah. And then we need to kill the first spark. Okay, where is it? Over here! And this is where we use the limit break, and we need to kill this spark. Ah! Yeah, don't let the tank take the towers.
Well, we took the other.
Only to get the spark. Yay! Secret Asian man!
Ow. Welcome to the game. It just keeps getting better.
It does. Two comms! Woohoo!
2 more than me.
You're safe. Thank the 12.
You may have bested me this day, but what of the next? What of all the days to come? Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
There will be no next time. This is the end.
What trickery is this? No. No! Cannot! No!
Imagine he's uncomfortable in there.
Use Tup Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free. Concentrate. Call to mind the time you struck down La Hareband with the Blade of Light. won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me! I shall make you pay for your insolence!
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Master Louisoix, I understand now. The choice you made. In death, there is life. Farewell, Eorzea. You damned old coot.
Moonbreeder, no! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Moonbreeder. She's gone. You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead. This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia, are you all right?
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
Not really.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
We really need to quit
She gave her
collecting
life
relics
to
of
temper
dead
the blade of
friends.
light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Eorzea know?
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens, yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Charlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louisoix. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hitherto the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Charlayan behind, Master Louisoix gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her. For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisoix I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisoix's will before the end? The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
Sniff! Who first, Papa Lima or Y'shtola?
Let's start with Papa Limo. She was counting on the theory that a soul's aether burns brightest at the moment of its passing. A scholar until the very end.
Oh, Moon, I miss you already.
Okay. Would that we had arrived a few moments sooner. Just a few moments.
Our list of grievances against the Ascians was already overlong. Must they continue to add to it?
Yes,
Unfortunately,
actually.
I think the answer is yes. They are determined to break our hearts in more ways than one. Never have I seen Eorzea so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We shall gather in the Charlene Manor to celebrate Moonbreeda's life and mourn her passing.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Yep.
In memory of Moonbreda. Minfilia wishes to gather the Scions and honor the fallen Moonbreda.
As Moonbreda was a native of Charlene, I feel it only fitting that we gather before the Mark of the Scholar. Are you familiar with the stone? 'Tis a monument found in Wraithfrost. It's sacred to Thaliak, guardian deity of the City of Learning. There we shall pray for our friend's soul, and bid her a peaceful return to the light of the Mother Crystal. Ah, your Stola is different.
Okay.
Was there aught that me might have done to save her? 'Tis foolish to torture oneself with such thoughts, but the heart is often sometimes deaf to quiet reason.
As ever, I was a step too late.
Moonbreda showed us the way forward at the cost of her own life. What worth is her sacrifice if we do not follow where it leads? Let us gather at Wraithfrost and show our respects to our fallen comrade. Then we shall continue with the work she began. I don't want to believe she's really gone.
The loss of those close to you is never easy, and Ida was closer to Moonbreda than most.
Oh, Moon. And there is no one, not even Tataru.
Yeah.
Feels so empty.
That's because it is.
Well, aren't we looking black magey?
For a moment. Time to get back to Warrior.
Like these give any sort of XP at all.
Yeah, I keep hoping. Kind of further south.
No, I know where I'm going. Going right here.
Yeah, I was thinking it was the stone.
I wanted to come up the proper way instead of just across the lake.
Fine. Interesting set of 3 objects.
Mm-hmm.
The tower, the guardian of the lake, and the stone.
And Nymean lilies.
Forgive me, Moonbreeder. Had I been quicker or wiser, but I was not, and you paid the price. But you would not suffer us to wallow in our sorrow, would you? You would tell us to pick ourselves up and get on with it. And so we shall. We shall defend this realm and her people to the last.
Life for death, a fair exchange. Other bargains.
You realize this is your fault.
Be struck.
Yeah, well, the little guy's having none of it.
His meddling led to that.
Now, he said it was the will of Heidelin. She has a plan. Mostly. I hope. I hope she has a plan. This better have been worth it.
Somebody better have a plan. And it's not me.
No offense, I don't think you'd ever have a plan.
Hey.
It's not like I have one either. Cunning or
I have
otherwise.
plenty of plans. I have plenty of plans. Most of them involve lunch.
Okay, fair enough.
And
Yashdola's here.
a few. And Thancred and at least one other.
I see
Pavlimo and
Pavlo.
Ida.
Yeah. The rising stones feels somehow colder. Moonbreed always carried with her such an ambience of warmth and cheer.
She was very alive. We must find some means of protecting ourselves from Asian intrusions. There must be a way.
I don't feel much like talking at the moment. If you could just give me some time.
All the time you need. I loathe to see Ida in such pain, but I have not the words to comfort her. Can you imagine it? I, Papalimo, the one who has an eloquent comment for every situation, am at a loss for words.
And back to the Solar.
Mm-hmm.
Though we have said our farewells, the pallor of sadness has diminished but little. Forgive me, as antecedent, 'tis my job to be the pillar of strength for all others to learn upon. Yet I also believe the grief we feel now is precious in its own way, and not to be lightly swept aside. Do you not agree, Rena, Ladonia?
That's pretty good timing. Oh, we're gonna get cutscenes.
'Tis as if a dagger has been thrust into my breast. But 'tis a pain we must learn to bear if we are to forge ahead with our duty. The battles we have fought have taken the lives of so many. Luisfa, Unbrida, our fellows at the Waking Sands. Their spirit and dedication to our cause, however, will never be lost as long as we rise to fight once more. I hardly need remind you of this, of course. 'Tis of my own benefit that I repeat these words, a reaffirmation of my own chosen path. If I do not rebuild the foundation of my resolve, I am like to collapse in a fit of weeping. My apologies, Rena Ladonia. There are no words to whom I could dispatch such weakness. You are my pillar of strength, and I fear I shall have need of your steadfast presence in the days to come.
Victory won, a comrade lost. To honor the fallen, the living forge ever on, towards the light of a new day.
And that was the end of 5.5?
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
So
And
join us next week for 2.55.
2.55. Which will be the big run-up to
Heaven's Word.
yeah. And it will be big.
Yeah, oh boy, yeah. The final quest alone will probably be an entire week, that and the credits afterwards.
Yeah, the credits are a good, what, hour in themselves?
Something like that, at least half an hour. And we've already been through the credits once.
Woohoo!
Okay, so very good timing.
Yeah, it is time to say goodnight. Thank you all very much for joining us. I do hope you come for next Sunday because it's gonna be a whopper.
Or at least it's gonna start being one.
Woohoo!
It'll be a couple of weeks at least before we get to the really big stuff.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the first time they start giving you quote-unquote warning.
Yeah, I believe that's on the final quest, which we're still a little ways from.
Yes, it is. Well, we will be
Later.
back. Okay, we will be back next week on Saturday for more Palace of the Dead. Hopefully with more killing. Or what? Already 4
got to 100.
KOs?
Oh, yeah. That. Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
I
So
think
more.
only one of them was mine.
So yeah, more Palace of the Dead on Saturday in our quest to reach 200, and then more Bun Buns on Sunday. We will see you then. Until then, be safe, be well, get a good night's sleep. We will see you next time.
Yeah, good night, everyone.